Welcome to Black and Gold Today, brought to you by Cadillac of New Orleans. I'm Jim Derry. The Saints are set to take off for a visit to NFC South rival Carolina, which very well could be their most important trip of the season. As tough as it is to climb out of an 0-2 hole, 0-3 would seem to be nearly impossible for a team that has so many issues. With that, it's time to turn to a man who has all the answers, and that's Saints beat writer Larry Holder. Well, Larry, if last week was a must-win for the Saints, then just what in the heck is this one?
Well, I like how you claim I have all the answers, except I incorrectly picked them to win last week. So maybe I have just a 50-50 shot since we got...
Well, we're hoping nobody saw that.
Unfortunately, everybody sees everything that I do, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, exactly. Look, 0-2, there are teams that have made the playoffs starting off 0-2. Even the Saints in 1990, they went 0-2 and they made the playoffs. And most recently, the Colts did it last year and they made the AFC title game. So 0-2 is not some big dramatical. Last week, though, we both figured that it was a must-win, basically for morale's sake, especially against a bad team like Tampa. Now you blew it. And so now you're going on the road against Carolina. Drew Brees' status is up in the air. Several other players' status is up in the air. And if you fall behind in the division by 3 games, the comeback, we've seen it in recent history. We've seen Carolina actually come back from a big hole and catch the Saints after being several games back in 2013. But this Saints team, if they lose this game, and if Drew Brees, depending on his health, if he's in there or not, I'm not sure if they have a real good shot at pulling this one off anyway.
Well, you talk about morale, and what is the morale like out there? Do you sense any panic?
I think there is a bit, and you're not going to hear the word panic from players. It's always sense of urgency. That's more like a code word for panic. And so right. With that, though, they understand the consequences, and a lot of these players, unfortunately for the Saints, they've been in 0-2 holes and seen what happens when you go 0-2. And so it's something that they know if they can't right the ship now, you look at the rest of the schedule, you see some wins here or there, but there are definitely no guarantees along the way.
I mean,
this will be a challenge.
They could literally be staring 0-6 in the face if they lose this game.
Possibly. You look at maybe Dallas, that could be a win without Tony Romo. Philadelphia, even though you're on the road, that's a game that Philadelphia's really struggled, and DeMarco Murray's been hurt, and Sam Bradford hasn't gotten it together, and Byron Maxwell's been a big flop in free agency. But look, it's not like any of these are guaranteed for the Saints. And so we've seen, look, if you lose to Tampa at home and they're not a good football team, every game is vulnerable.
Well, assuming Drew plays, do you expect him to try to establish the run early to take some of the pressure off of him?
I think absolutely. And again, we don't know what Drew Brees is going to be like, even if he does play.
Right.
But I think you have to, because C.J. Spiller's not on the injury report. He's probably got to be a full go. You have those are probably your 3 best weapons with Drew banged up, and especially if Drew doesn't play. If Luke McCown's in there, Luke McCown is probably not your best option on the offense. So I think you're going to have to try to work something with that ground game or with the running backs in the passing game like they tried to do in week 1.
If you're Carolina, do you see the safeties inching up, figuring that he's not going to be able to throw the deep pass?
Oh, for Drew, absolutely. And I think that's something that the Saints have to ponder, knowing that they could probably get away with one-on-one coverage. And it's not like the Saints wide receivers have been all that stout. I mean, Brandon Cooks is probably your biggest threat. And still, if Drew plays and they know his arm's banged up, I think they will certainly try to stack the box, no question.
Well, hang on. We're going to get another shot after last week's debacle. Larry and I will be right back with Friday's Extra Point right after this.
What's one of the nicest things that comes with your new Cadillac from Cadillac of New Orleans? 0% interest.
Get 0% interest on all new Cadillacs, now at Cadillac of New Orleans. New owners, new attitude, on Lime Street in Rye in Metairie.
Working on tradition in our second week together for Friday's Extra Point, Larry and I are going to offer our picks, and I'm not going to mention the scores, but we were both a little wrong, 40-10. So let's see if we can do this again and go for it, Larry.
Mine certainly wasn't as lopsided, but we both had egg in our face, no doubt. Look, I hinted to my pick in the first segment, and I think the Saints are going to come away and be 0-3 after this game. I think it's Carolina 27, Saints 17. And I don't think it matters if Drew Brees plays or not. And I don't think it matters if Luke Kuechly plays or not, because, look, Luke Kuechly has been missing practice, right, with the concussion. And he's the quarterback. And to me, he's the best player. He's better than Cam Newton just because of what he can do. So I don't think it matters because they've been winning without Kuechly, and the Saints have not been winning with Drew.
Well, I've got head versus gut. Head says the Saints. I just can't fathom that they're going to be 0-3, but the gut says they are. So we're going to go with, I think it's going to be a really tight game. I'm going to say it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to go Carolina 21, Saints 19. So I think that's pretty close with what Dunk had, but, we'll see. Thanks for joining us, Larry.
Yep, you got it, Jim. Yeah,
well, that's it for this week. Yeah. Well, that's it for this week. We'll be back Monday when we offer our post-mortem on Sunday's game. Thanks for watching.